Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final edition of the Hoops All In podcast, the one-off in the off season. As always, I'm your host, Werlins Francois. We got Kane Legacy. We got Kyle Anthony. Guys, what's going on? How's your summers looking so far?
Well, mine is great. As soon as we split here, it's gonna really get lit. But yeah, I'm good.
Mine is good, man. It's a little hot and humid out here, but I'm all right. I'm still on Phoenix air, I think, but it's a little humid on the East Coast, but I'm good.
Well, that's a dry heat, isn't it?
Yeah, but I love it.
No, the Phoenix air.
Yeah, when you come outside and it's like you're opening up the pizza oven. I love that.
That's the desert heat.
Yeah, the desert heat. But this out here make you feel like you're breathing through a straw. I don't like it. Asthmatic. How about you, Wells? How's your summer going, man?
Man, summer's going pretty good so far. Got a lot of good things happening to me.
Hookups.
That's more. That's more of a private conversation.
A couple of OnlyFans girls smile, right?
Oh, I see. He said that's all him. He on that OnlyFans time. I stay away from that. Don't hit me up about no OnlyFans. I'm good off that, man. Gary Payton though be on that. So
look how fast this went off the rails. Just like that.
All you got to do is check his recent likes. That's it.
Just like that, we can't even get through 2 minutes without this going completely left.
Well, hey,
Hey, Kane's the one who brought it up.
That's why you guys have me on the show, though. I mean, I don't want to disappoint you, man. That's how I earn my millions, people. Y'all don't understand how much they pay me to do this.
He's the Charles Barkley of the group.
Don't you? Thanks. He did. You said that on purpose.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Take it back.
Terrible.
Anyway.
Can stand. Never mind.
But yeah. Summer is very, very pleasant. I'm glowing right now. You guys
I can see that.
The ring light.
Yeah.
Good times is coming. Been working hard, been working a lot, but it's starting to pay off, both privately and professionally. So
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Yeah. There we go. That's
anyway, moving right along.
There we go.
Because I know where this is going to go.
We don't need to get into all that. All right, guys, man.
You're gonna have to put some cut scenes. Open up an OnlyFans and put some cut scenes from this show on it.
Oh, Jesus. That'll be a good idea, though.
Adult language, explicit language, Warner.
Yeah. Well, we won't be showing off nothing. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So now we talked about we're in the off season of the NBA. It's kind of slow right now. Not a lot of the news is picking up, but we had some pretty good transactions, trade signings that's happened so far in NBA free agency. And free agency still going on. I mean, we got a whole bunch of missing pieces left to be placed. We're going to talk about Kevin Durant's trade requests, Kyrie Irving possibly going to the Lakers, and all that type of stuff. But I wanted to ask you guys, what has been the biggest move, signing, trade in the NBA free agency period so far? Which team got better and which team got worse? Kyle, you go first.
I don't really think any team got worse with their acquisition. I mean, you look at Boston. Obviously, they upgraded their wing play and whatnot with Brogdon and Gallinari. I was a little worried about the Warriors at first, only because the biggest loss for them was Gary Payton II, but the others were basically non-rotational players. Juan Toscano-Anderson and Damian Lee, Steph's brother-in-law. But I don't really see. It was almost like a parallel move. They were able to get Dante DiVincenzo. So those were fine. I think the biggest, one of the biggest headline grabbers was the Knicks acquiring Jalen Brunson. We'll see if that's it for their moves as far as shedding some salaries and getting some cap space for that and everything. But I don't see any team getting worse.
I mean, for me, it's obviously you guys had to know I was going to say I'm very disappointed with the JaVale McGee trade, the signing rather, in Dallas.
Mm.
I was hoping to see him in Phoenix next year. I think Phoenix takes a hit on that, and Dallas becomes a better team because of that. So, but I'm disappointed and depressed, and I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, wow.
How you say you're having a good summer, but you depressed?
I'm
about your
depressed
Suns
because of
losing
that
JaVale McGee?
trade. Like I haven't been traded.
Well, I'll tell you what. Somebody who is definitely not depressed is JaVale McGee. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Good for him.
I mean, good for him, and good for Dallas. I don't hate them, but Phoenix all the way, man. So, we'll see. But what I'm hoping happens with Phoenix. So,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Tarantula.
The
And
worst
those tarantulas are the most at home in the Southwestern desert.
But the absolute
they also
worst.
run away from everything, though. You know that.
Tarantulas?
They run away from everything. We gonna get to that soon. We gonna say
all right.
that.
We'll get to that.
By the way, I just want to add that is the absolute worst sports nickname ever. So
Tarantula.
hopefully, yeah. I thank goodness it hasn't really stuck for that often. Thank God, because
I'm bringing it back. If he goes to Phoenix, we're gonna bring it back. You know that, right?
Oof.
The tarantula is like the state bird.
I thought it was like a scorpion or something.
Either or.
Those desert scorpions.
If we ever get no, we have everything. Never mind. I was gonna say if we get another NBA team, maybe we'll call them the Phoenix Scorpions.
Phoenix Scorpions. I don't know about that. Doesn't ring a bell.
No, I like Tarantula better. Let's stick with that.
Oof. And
yeah.
For me, biggest moves in free agency, I'm gonna have to go with the Hawks getting DeJounte Murray from the Spurs. I like that trade a lot. That was a good trade. I know, yeah. Kyle was very, very hurt by that trade.
You had to bring that back.
Hey, man. I mean, now I know if he got traded to the Warriors, you would have been hella happy.
Oh, wait, are you kidding me? I'd be camping outside of the place.
He'll take a first flight to San Francisco outside the Chase Center and just camp there until the start of the next season.
Just a little. I mean, I've always. This is not any kind of bandwagon fan talk or anything. I've always been a fan of his. I was really upset when he went down with the ACL injury and missed that season that whole season that he missed. I'm a little curious about, and this is way off topic, but I'm really a little curious about what is going on or what has been said is happening in San Antonio. But yeah, like I said, that's a whole other topic. Good for Atlanta for getting a really good tall point guard who actually can play defense. That's right, I said it.
Tall point guard. No, yeah, but going back to what I said, DeJounte Murray going from the Spurs to the Hawks was the biggest off-season move so far. Atlanta got another proven scorer to help Trae Young out in the backcourt, and they were able to keep their core pieces. They were able to keep John Collins, Clint Capella. They obviously eventually traded Kevin Huerter, which I thought was a great wingman for that team, but they still kept their core guys, their starting five for the most part. I think that trade is going to elevate Atlanta to, I'll say, probably a fifth, sixth seed in the Eastern Conference. But that was possibly the biggest trade in the free agency offseason I thought about. I was going to go with Rudy Gobert, but the Timberwolves, man, they just gave up the truck, their house, and half the property in Minnesota just to get him. I'm talking about 4 first-round draft picks and like 5-6 players for Rudy Gobert. That's the type of trade package you get for KD, but not Rudy Gobert. All respect, he's a great, great player, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, but 4 first-round draft, really 5 because they had the 13th pick this year and they gave that up to get him. But yeah, man, I think DeJounte Murray is going to really help Atlanta scoring. So I definitely agree with that. Worst team that got worse. I'm gonna have to go I'm kind of tied between saying Golden State because they did lose a lot of their depth. I mean, Gary Payton was a huge loss, man. He was a big loss. That's a big loss. That's another wing right there. And now you got to really depend on your young guys. Kuminga, you got to depend on Wiseman, who's been looking so far pretty healthy in the summer league, to step it up, which is obviously should. But that's going to go into hit the Golden State Warriors down the line in terms of the luxury tax because now they have to pay Jordan Poole a big contract extension. They've been talking about paying Wiggins a contract extension. You already have Steph Curry making $45, almost $50 million a year. Thompson's on the max. So is Draymond Green. He's almost on the max contract. So the Warriors payroll with just those four guys alone almost going to be adding up to 5 is going to be extremely, extremely high. Now, we all know the Warriors owner, Joe Lacob, is willing to spend money as long as the team continues to contend and win. But given losing those guys in free agency, man, a lot of people don't understand. If you really watch the game, understand the game of basketball, Gary Payton was a solid two-way defender for that team, and I think he's a tremendous loss. So is Toscano Anderson. They also lost Otto Porter Jr., so they lost a lot of key pieces from the championship. Now, when you got Steph, Draymond, Clay, I like those chances to repeat, but having those rotational guys to give in good minutes off the bench, I think is really going to hurt them down in the long run.
I only partially agree with you. I forgot. I'm really sorry to Otto. I actually forgot that he's also gone. But again, Damian Lee and Juan Toscano Anderson were not really heavily not key rotation players. So although, it's kind of like breaking up the family, breaking up the championship bench portion of the team, I don't see them as great of a loss as Gary Payton. Now maybe having, as long as you can get Moses Moody to step up as well as Jonathan Kuminga and Wiseman, I think that can mitigate the loss of Gary Payton, as well as adding DiVincenzo, like I said. But I wouldn't fret too much over losing. What is that noise?
What noise?
I'm hearing like
better. Yeah, I heard it too.
What noise?
Buzzing noise.
Sounded like a jet engine.
Yeah. A jet engine?
Yeah, I heard it too. Yeah.
Is it still going on?
No, it's gone.
Nah.
Oh, okay. It might have been a plane.
Oh, you
were saying, Kyle, you wouldn't fret too much.
I wouldn't fret too much over those guys as much as Gary Payton. That's a loss. But like I said, if the others can step up and DiVincenzo can play as good as he has been known to play, especially during his years with Milwaukee, I think it'll be okay.
I'm just talking about mainly from the perspective of the Warriors payroll, because as I mentioned, they're going to have to pay Wiggins and Poole a significant amount of money to keep them. Yeah. And Thompson, Curry, and Draymond already on max contract. So I like the decision to keep Kevon Looney. I think he was a really important asset for them to win the title this year. But talks about you could have kept those guys on almost close to a minimum deal. I'm like, hey, come back to Golden State. We have another great chance of winning the title. Obviously, Gary Payton was going to get his money based off what he did in the playoffs. But I'm just talking about just to give those guys a breather. Like, you're not going to depend on Otto Porter Jr. and Toscano Anderson to give you 15, 20 points a night. But say Steph's playing like 45 minutes a game in the playoffs, he'd give you a breather. Same thing with Clay, and Dre and all that type of stuff. Just for those guys who could fill up minutes in the game. That's where I'm coming from. Any type of playing time is a big contribution to your stars. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And we don't even know where DeAndre Ayton is going yet. He's still a free agent out there. So who knows? That could be if he lands on the right team, he could elevate a team to championship contending status. So who knows? We'll see what's going on with that.